Gay culture in San Francisco kind of blossomed around World War II when men that were serving in the armed forces would come back to San Francisco. San Francisco was a major base, a station where people would come back to. And it was a lot of young men who were in their 20s, they were bachelors, and they didn't want to necessarily go back to their small towns. A lot of them were gay. Then in the 60s and 70s, we had folks like Sylvester, who was a disco diva, who was trans and from San Francisco, who performed and kind of created this queer culture in San Francisco, like this idea of this fabulous, amazing human being that was a performance people really enjoyed and loved. And then they started getting this idea that San Francisco was amazing, like disco culture, queer and fabulous and over the top, which it was, I think. We also saw folks like Harvey Milk in the 70s who were politicians who were creating movement for gay folks as a representative, right? Someone who was connected with queer communities but also was able to leverage his privilege as like a white male in society as a politician. The Tenderloin has been the heart of queer culture in San Francisco since probably the 1900s. It's where a lot of the outcasts, folks that were substance users, transsexuals, queers, people that were sort of looked down upon or oppressed in society found a safe space in the heart of the city. However, there was a lot of policing that was going on in those spaces, especially in the 60s. They hung out at this Compton cafeteria, which was a place that they would just gather together as a community when they were off work or when they were just kind of between shifts. And the police came in to give them a hard time and hassle them. They decided to stand up against the police and actually kind of rioted. And it was the first time in San Francisco that gay rights became a thing, where people were really like pressing back and trying to fight for their own rights. And even to this day, I think that San Francisco is seen from outsiders as this safe space, as a gay place to go, as a gay mecca, really. And a lot of people will give up everything that they have in the small towns that they've grown up because they've heard about San Francisco either in travel magazines or on TV shows or in music videos or wherever else you get this like messaging in social media that says that San Francisco is really open and gay and exciting, and so that they leave their lives behind in order to chase this dream of being in a place that's accepting and queer like San Francisco is.